Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me today and for being a part of my community. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this yummy ground turkey pie. It's really yummy, delicious, and very easy to make. I hope you stay until the end of this video and watch me as I do this. For a start, we're going to be needing 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 chopped carrots, small size, half chopped Irish potato, my spices. You can check the description box for my spices, and bell peppers. I'll be using red bell pepper, green, and yellow. And that's my ground turkey. This ground turkey is saltless, so I like that. And chopped onion. Corn flour, that's 1/4 tablespoon. And my cold unsalted butter. So I'm going to be using 1 and about half bag, but use what works for you because of the quantity of your flour. Okay, so any ingredients I didn't put here, you'll see it as I continue. Right now I put a pan on a low heat to begin stir frying my ground turkey. Just a little bit of oil. You can use vegetable oil, olive oil, or even butter. So after that, I'll be putting in my chopped onion, and next I'll put in my diced habanero pepper, and now it's time to add in my ground turkey. I really like this ground turkey because it's saltless, it makes it easier. You're able to regulate the salt. You don't have to pass through much stress trying to extract the salt, so I really like it for that. So I'm just going to be making sure it fries along. So the whole idea is to get this fried because it looks fresh now, so you want it fried and ready to eat. Okay, so this is actually a very easy way to prepare our filling for the turkey pie. It's basically same way of making your meat pie, so it's really nice. At this point, I'm going to be adding my spices. So right here I have a little bit of nutmeg, curry, thyme, oregano, my bouillon spice, and a little bit of salt. So I'm going to be adding this. You can add whatever you have, but for now these are my spices. So I'm just going to mix it together, and as you can see, we have some water coming out from the ground turkey, which is good because if you notice I didn't add water now. So I'm just going to be stir frying it together to make sure everything goes in properly. I'll allow this to fry for 1 second. And now I'm going to be adding my chopped Irish potato. And mix together. And now my chopped carrot. And then I'll mix it together. After a few minutes, I'm going to be adding in my bell pepper, the yellow, the red, and the green. And I'll just be putting in just half portion. I won't be using everything for this because I found out it's kind of too much. So I'll just use some and leave the rest. Okay, so after adding, you want to mix. So right now I'm going to be adding my corn flour. I added some water into my corn flour and I'm just going to put it in and mix it. We want to get a thick consistency of the fillings. So I'm just going to be mixing it in. As time goes on, the thicker it gets, you can add a little bit more water or you leave it that way, whatever you prefer. So at this point, I checked for taste and I found out I needed to adjust my taste. So I just added a little bit more of my bouillon seasoning spice. So I'll just mix it into it. Our filling is ready, so we're just going to set it aside. In a clean bowl, I'm going to be sieving in my flour to get out every unwanted debris. I'll be adding 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Now I'm going to be setting that aside, and in another bowl I'll be breaking in 2 egg whites. Now I'll put this egg whites with this into this bowl. Save the egg yolk for later. Another egg, break this one completely in and whisk it and set it aside. So right now I'm going to be putting in my cold butter. I'll put in the first bar into the flour. With my 2 clean hands, I'm going to be mixing in the butter with the flour. So I'm going to do this until I get a crumpy texture. So it comes out like, breadcrumbs, or better still, like sand. I'll be using my 2 hands to make sure everything goes in. So while I'm done with that, I'm going to be adding just 1/4 spoon of salt. And I'll be using parsley, dried parsley leaves too for this. Then I'm adding some bouillon powder, just about 1/4 spoon too, and then mix everything together. You want every dry ingredient going together, okay? You don't put dry ingredients with wet ingredients. You have to make sure everything goes in together. Dry, and then wet. After that, I'm going to be making the well at the middle. So right now I'm getting ready to put in my liquid ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to be putting in is my whisked egg, and then I'll mold it in together with my hands. Okay, so for this kind of work, you want to make sure your hands are always clean. For every session, you want to wash your hands and just make sure everything doesn't get messy and not look good. So you want everything to look good, not messy, and properly done. So I'm going to be molding it in together. After that, I'm going to be adding just a half cup of milk and mix everything in. If you notice, I didn't add in water. My milk is liquid and the egg is liquid. So if you get your measurements right, you won't need to add water, except you're experienced in this, because too much water will make it come out all messy, sticky, and you may not get a good dough. So I'll mold everything together. You see how everything is coming together without needing to add extra flour or water. So it's not hard, it's not too soft, it's just moderate, well measured. You see how everything gathered together? So you want to bring everything together and then cover it and allow it to sit for just 5 minutes, so everything settles into the dough. Okay, while we wait, I'm just gonna be putting butter on my baking pan. So the butter paper I kept aside, you see, that's what I'm using it for now. So I will be rubbing in butter to enable it to come out. But even if I don't rub butter, it's not going to stick to the glass baking bowl. But I just like to do it the appropriate way. Okay, so I'm just going to be rubbing it butter and dust it with a little bit of flour. I don't know, for some reason I just do this all the time I want to bake. Even if I don't do it now, it's still going to come out nice. But okay, you just want to be sure. So that's ready, and I'm going to be setting it aside and bring out my dough. Everything must have settled in. So right now it's time to knead for a little bit and begin to cut out on a clean surface. I'll just put out my dough. Yes, I have a little bit of flour in a saucer to keep the surface smooth, and then not too much kneading. I won't need too much kneading, so I'll just cut it into little sizes. Yes, so I'm not using meat pie cutter. I'm gonna be using just normal, doing it the normal way with my rolling stick and my pizza cutter. Okay, so for in case you don't have meat pie cutter, so you can make use of this method, but if you have, fine, it's gonna be easier. So I just choose to do it this way. Okay, so I'm just gonna be rolling it out, and even though it may not come out the same sizes, so right now you just want to put a portion down and then roll it with your rolling stick. And I'm just trying to get a circle shape, get a circle shape. And that's the whole idea. Once I have 2 circles, I use my discretion to make sure it's about the same size, and then I put in my filling and we continue. But if you have a cutter, you can also use it to make it easier for you. But I'm just showing you this method because I'm not using my cutter today. So from anywhere you are, if you don't have your cutter, you can just use what you have and just go ahead. So let's just continue as we make this turkey pie. So now I'm going to be rubbing in the egg yolk, or whisked egg rather. Rub it in to just one side and then put in my filling. So let's just do this and we'll come back later. So at this point, I'm going to be trimming out any excess edges. Just trim it out to get a perfect or an almost perfect circle. And after this, I'm going to be using my knife to stencil it by the sides. I'll just be stenciling it by the side with my knife or my fork. Sorry, I'm making use of a fork. Use whatever you have to stencil it. Now, while stenciling, if it's sticky, all you need to do is dip it into flour and then continue. We'll set that aside. We're going to preheat our oven to 350 while we go ahead and rub the egg yolk on the surface of our pie before putting it in the oven to bake. So I'm just going to be doing this, and after doing this, I'm going to be using my fork to make some holes on the top, you know, just give it a little bit of design and let air go in a little bit. And after that, our pie is ready. This looks so yummy, looks so good, and believe me, tastes so good. Thank you so much for doing this with me, and also thank you for being a part of my community. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.